Hello and welcome to the Third Hand on a sleepy Monday evening. I'm your host, Tucker, with my squatchy co-host who boasts the most, Maurice, also known as Jordan.
That is me.
So, Jordan, what are we going to be doing today? You kind of put this whole, most of it together
I did.
for the show.
I did. So, you told me that there's a video talking about how based are you, or in other words, kind of how conservative are you? And we say a lot of conservative things. At least that's how we identify, right?
Yes. Well,
But
I mean, we identify as other
we
things
do.
sometimes.
Well, I like to identify as things on the daily. In fact, what do I identify as today? That's a good question. You know, I feel like I want to say I identify as hungry, but that's like every day.
That
you
is,
know?
I can agree with that. I can identify with that.
You can?
Yeah.
Can we both identify as hungry today?
Maybe we can both identify as hungry today.
I like that.
You know what? I think that we're a minority group. We're both hungry.
That's good. All right. But we also identify as conservative. But with this video, it says conservative tier ranking. We can see how conservative we are, even though that's how we identify.
Mm-hmm.
So I say we watch this video and find out.
All right, let's give it a look-see. So, if there's something that we need to describe to you, we'll try to do that, but you should be able to just hear most of it, and it should make sense. Hopefully.
More and more people are waking up to the woke left-wing madness. Because of this, maybe you now believe, or have even done something, that the Utes, in their right-wing lingo, might call based. This can be a very confusing event for people who thought that they were liberal. So I am here to help you sort it all out and help you see where you land. Are you conservative curious? Or are you a full-blown, knuckle-dragging, salt-sowing, red-pilled, based conservative?
I'm going to go with the latter.
S tier, A tier, B tier. We've got very different categories. The lowest tier of basedness is you think men are not women. That's kind of entry level. The next level,
Yeah.
you secretly voted for Trump in 2020.
It wasn't a secret.
You admitted, but you kind of keep your head down. You don't want to make too much noise. In the third tier, you're pretty bought in. You can't help but make comments now and again that get you in trouble. This is where
Yeah.
blue-haired cousin doesn't talk to you.
Yeah.
Patriotism. You are like the Florida man who waved an American flag in a hurricane, which is actually a violation of flag code, but your heart's in the right place. The S tier, the top.
Hey, speaking about waving your a flat American flag in a hurricane, I have an American flag in my motorcycle. Does that count?
Yeah. I mean, you're riding really fast, so, 60-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
Not in a storm, but sure.
Cool. All right. Nice.
Genghis Khan, which is when you're already banned on every social media platform. Those are the 5 categories.
We're trying to
I've never been banned, but I've had comments removed.
I've also had comments removed.
So
probably from the same experience as you.
Yeah, it's the same experience. Yes.
When
we've already talked about this, but yeah.
When the University of Utah decided to paint the U statue rainbow, and we didn't like that, so we started commenting on it.
And all good, funny comments.
Yeah.
Nothing mean. It's just cracking jokes, and like they said, your blue-haired cousins are like.
Well, no, they don't do that because they don't talk to you anymore.
Well, that's true. That's right. I don't have any blue-haired cousins, so.
I don't either.
That's. I don't know if that's a lie or not. I have some cousins that have colored hair. I don't know if it's blue or not.
It's some color. That's not natural.
I have colored-haired cousins that are not natural colored.
And they don't talk to you anymore?
Well, they talk to me, but I'm pretty sure I've offended them. So, yeah. All right.
Let's watch some more of this video and see some examples of these different conservatives.
Secretly voted for Trump. Blue hairs won't talk to you. Hurricane flag. Social media exile. Before we begin, this video is sponsored by Ring. No matter.
Oh, Ring! Hey, sponsor us.
Yeah.
More from them in a minute. Let's get started.
Oh, and here's an ad.
Having the right for the job
man.
is critical.
All right, we got
Whether
an
you're
ad.
fighting fires or helping folks
Ooh,
navigate the
ads!
voting
Get out of
process.
here! Get the freak
install
out of
an
here!
ad blocker.
Wearing a MAGA hat out in public.
I've done that.
It's past the second tier. The second tier is you secretly voted for Trump. Now you're at the your blue hair cousin won't speak to you anymore. Are you
I've
all
worn
the way
MAGA
up
hats in
to
public.
waving a flag in a hurricane? Probably not. You know, Trump did win the election. Malarkey. Certainly won the election. A whole lot of people voted for him the second time. 70 million, more than 70 million, who knows? So I think you're probably at, your blue-haired cousin won't speak to you, but you're not yet at the point where you're risking life.
All right, here, hold on,
to
Tucker.
wave.
So, have you worn a MAGA hat ever?
I don't even own a MAGA hat. I do have an American flag fish hat that I wear around sometimes.
Okay.
It's like, it's a professional fishing gear hat from I don't remember what company it is, but it's got an American flag on it, and then the stripes are fish.
Okay, well, it was close, but it's not a MAGA hat. So I have worn MAGA hats in public. So, all right, okay, let's keep going.
All right, keep going.
So I'm at least at the
You
blue-haired
got the
cousin I'll
"Don't
talk
Tread
to.
on Me" bumper sticker.
Okay, I don't have that.
Okay, this is
But I have a
actually
Sasquatch
kind of
bumper
a
sticker.
surprising. I'm going
Pretty
to
good.
say, it's the same level. It's more commitment. The "Don't Tread on Me" is pretty hardcore. You're saying, I don't just want to go back to good old America, but I want to go all the way back to that kind of revolutionary spirit, 1776, baby.
Oh, it's
But
that
it's also
Dodge
appropriated by a
commercial
lot
of
of, like,
George Lincoln
libertarians. Some
driving
people
George
don't
Lincoln.
necessarily.
George Washington driving a Mustang.
I remember in my history class, I learned about George Lincoln and how he led the troops across into Utah to fight the Indians and the Mexicans and
George Lincoln, the same guy who fought the Revolutionary War and freed the slaves at the same time.
oh my gosh. you just drop down a tier for that. Just for not knowing basic history. Down a tier. Like
Now my blue-haired cousin likes me.
now your blue-haired cousin will talk to you and you secretly voted for Trump.
Okay, alright, I have to redeem myself.
You have to redeem yourself. Find a way to redeem yourself in this show.
Logical.
All right.
So I'm going to say this is still not quite waving the flag in the hurricane, but your blue-haired cousin definitely does not like it. Applied to joint space. A little bit higher up here. You probably haven't.
Oh, that's funny. I thought about it.
Because I assume you'll need some internet access
That's
to
funny.
apply to Space Force. But if you're willing to launch yourself into the cold abyss for the glory of your country,
And there's the
in a
rocket
department
exploding.
that was
Wow.
started by Donald Trump, you would wave a
Is
flag.
Space Force still going?
Yeah, it is. They even have a song now. So you know how like all the armed forces have a song that they play, like the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy. All of them have different songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Space Force has one now, and at the University of Utah military football game, they played it. The
Wow.
band played it. Yeah.
Okay, so I just looked it up. This is really funny. So Netflix made a series called Space Force.
Uh-huh.
The guy from The Office, Steve Carell, I think. Anyway, really funny. And so I looked up the Space Force reel and some pictures, and it has a couple of pictures of Steve Carell from the Space Force show.
Maybe he leads Space Force in the United States.
That would be crazy. Anyway, so this says the U.S. Space Force is the 6th independent U.S. military service branch, tasked with missions and operations in the rapidly evolving space domain. As of June 2020, its headquarters has yet to be announced. Space Force was signed into law December 20th, 2019 as part of the 2020 National Defense Authorization Act.
Wait, so hold on. So does that mean that technically Elon Musk is an enemy to Space Force? Because he currently is advancing faster than the United States government in the space domain.
You know, I don't think he would be seen as an enemy, more as like,
A loose ally.
no, not even that. More like, a way to get ahead, right? More like an ally that they plan on using to help them,
I can see that.
They're Space Force is gonna be like, hey, Elon, can you
Hook us up with some rockets.
yeah, show us what you're doing? And he'll be like, sure.
No.
or no, who knows what he's gonna do. He's not American. He can do what he wants. And he's also, a private citizen with a private company, and well, just say private, it's kind of a public company. I think you can trade stocks. I don't know. Is SpaceX public?
I believe it is, but it could be like Wayne Enterprises, where Elon Musk just went and bought the majority of shares through different foundations and charitable services.
SpaceX is not a public company.
Okay, it is not. Well, SpaceX, but Tesla
is
is
public, but not SpaceX.
SpaceX.
Okay, well there we go. So yeah, all right, cool. Well, Space Force is a real thing. Nice.
It is a real thing. All right, good. Glad we know that. How long do you think it'll last?
I have no clue. I haven't heard anything about the left or Joe Biden or anyone else talk about taking it down.
It's true.
Yeah, so
but no one's done anything with it either. So
I don't know. It seems like it's just kind of in a state of limbo of existing yet having no purpose.
It honestly seems like it's just like the Air Force, but higher altitude.
Smaller, less, responsibilities. Oh, dude, did you see that one G.I. Joe movie where, like, the bad guys, instead of having nukes, they had, like, satellites in space?
Oh, yeah.
With the tungsten rods? Mm-hmm. Just drop it.
Maybe that's what
London
they're building.
Boom.
Maybe that's what Space Force is building. And so then they're just going to, like, roll up to Russia and be like, yo, we don't have nukes, but we have tungsten rods. We're going to drop them on you.
Dude, we know how we talked about,
no radiation, all of the fun.
No, how we talked about, like, nuclear power?
Yes.
And the only waste of those, uranium waste. What if...
they're launching it into space?
No, you take those uranium, make it into rods, and you go put them in space. Instead of dropping tungsten, you drop those uranium rods. So now, you turn that nuclear waste into weapons. There you go.
That could work.
I like it.
But then that's still you'd have the radiation. I think the whole point of dropping tungsten rods from like moon height is to avoid radiation and still like wreck everyone.
Well, I think like one uranium rod is gonna have a lot of radiation. I mean, I have no idea. I know nothing about nuclear physics or anything. I would assume that like
it's not like it's nuclear science or anything.
Yeah. It's not like you have to have
it's not rocket science.
Yeah,
come on, man.
I don't need years of schooling to get just a measly degree about it. No. But I would assume if you got like because I think in the G.I. Joe movie, the tungsten rods, they weren't that thick. They weren't as wide as a person. Okay, they're a little bit taller than a person.
You do have to realize we're talking about G.I. Joe here. This is if G.I. Joe physics and G.I. Joe reality is what happens now, then like the G.I. Joes have completely dismantled and are running North Korea right now, and they probably have either been wiped out in Syria or they're and The Rock is getting ready to lead a strike on Moscow or something, or who knows what. Okay, but I mean, I guess it could make sense because that would make sense as to why Biden's doing everything that he's doing, and he's just being controlled by Cobra.
There you go. Biden is Cobra Commander.
and then Kamala Harris is just a robot. That's why she sucks at doing everything and anything. And so then she's just programmed by Cobra to do what they tell her to do.
No, she's not the robot. She's the one lady from Cobra. I don't know enough about G.I. Joe.
She doesn't have that many skills to do anything. So
yeah. Well, then who's the enemy of Snake Eyes then?
Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow. Who'd Storm Shadow be?
I don't know. Is there an Asian in Congress?
I don't think there is.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there is. I just don't know who they are. There's probably some Asian dude in California that knows some form of martial arts.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we were to base reality off of G.I. Joe, you just take a uranium rod that's not as wide as a person.
I mean, the tungsten rod. You also have to realize those satellites in G.I. Joe were pretty good sized. Like they're not small things. So the tungsten rods are probably about as tall as like maybe a 3 or 4 story building, I would guess.
You think they're that tall?
Because you see it like go into the ground in the movie, and it's like when it hits, it's about as big as some of the buildings in London when it hits. So, like, I think that it's probably at least a 3 or 4 story building in height, and then probably about 3 or 4 people in width. But I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah, because I'm looking this up right now because, you know, I think I might be wrong. I think from what you're talking about. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Excuse me.
Now, to direct a rod to its target, we don't launch it. Fire.
See, it's Joe Biden right there.
Yes, exactly. There's Cobra Commander and Storm Shadow. Dude, okay, Cobra Commander looks cool. Right
Oh
there,
yeah,
man.
he's so sick.
Satellite 1, we have remote launch authorization. 3, 2, 1, drop.
See, it doesn't look big when it's in space, but watch it hit ground.
Faster than a bullet, and with a force significantly greater than a nuclear warhead.
Okay, that looks cool. It's just rocketing through space.
All of the fun.
Yeah, no fall, all the fun. Okay. That was pretty big. Okay. Alright.
So, it's not as tall as the skyscrapers by any means, but it's probably about a 3 or 4 story building in height.
So imagine, it looked like you took... So, I mean, it's bigger than a car. It looks like, from what I saw, that's wider than a car.
I'd say, yeah, it's probably at least the width of a car. Like, if you took the width of a car.
More like a semi-truck.
Yeah.
Imagine a semi-truck, except it's like 3 stories tall.
Yeah, semi-truck, 3 stories tall. That's probably about what this is.
Beefy semi-truck. And the way it launched, it had like a little... There was no, like, ignition, like, it went bang. It just kind of like a mechanism pushed forward really fast, and it shot it down.
Yeah.
Alright. So, okay, with that G.I. Joe logic right there, if we use uranium instead of tungsten, one, you'd be getting rid of nuclear waste.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay, you'd be repurposing nuclear waste. Okay, it'd be repurposed, and because in this video he said, no fallout, all the fun, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's going faster than a bullet, and it touches down far, like it hits far harder than a nuke would.
Yes, because nukes technically detonate above the ground.
That's true, they do.
So, but I think a uranium rod that big, there will be radiation, but it won't be that much. I think once it hits the ground, it's going to explode, and it's just going to, disperse everywhere and be kind of a small amount. I don't think you'll be very... I think it will be... I think the radiation perhaps could be intense in a small area, but inside the area is also where everything's destroyed, so it's not like you're going to get that fallout.
You know where else, like, the radiation is really intense in a small area? Yeah, where the bomb detonated in Hiroshima. And
Okay, but that had, like fallout went ways away. This is going to have ways away fallout. It's just that little, maybe square mile is going to be, a little bit of radiation, but that's just going to be rubble anyway. It's not... No one's there is like, oh man, this radiation sucks. They're dead.
I disagree with you, and I think that's a stupid idea. But I do think that Space Force could be designing these types of weapons, just like massive tungsten rods and satellites, and the Hubble Space Telescope's actually going around, and inside of it, yeah, it's taking pictures on one side, but the other side is getting ready to just drop a tungsten rod on like Putin.
I would think that there's like the lens would just move to the side, just kind of flip open, then just right and go,
and it just rapid fire rods, just, just straight at the ground.
That'd be great. All right, okay, well, I don't know where that rant came from, but let's
now we know that we live in G.I. Joe.
Yes. Let's see how conservative we are.
All right.
You've got the American flag emoji in your Twitter handle. Okay, if you've got the flag emoji in your Twitter handle, you definitely voted for Trump, and that is public. So now you're definitely past the first 2 tiers. Are you willing to wave the flag in a hurricane, Maybe, maybe not. Are you banned on social media? Obviously not, because you still have a Twitter handle. So I'm going to peg this conservatively at, you're willing to signal the flag. You're willing to wave the flag on social media, which can be very
I
dangerous.
wave it in real
I'm
life.
not sure if you're willing to do it in the hurricane, so your blue-haired cousin does not like it.
Huh.
You can name all of the American presidents.
You know,
I can't do
I
that.
can't do
Makes you
that.
a nerd. That doesn't,
Hey, we're not
that
nerds.
does not make you conservative necessarily. I guess if you have any even relatively strong grasp of American history, I guess by definition that makes you conservative in this day and age. But this is a
Yeah.
little bit lower. I mean, you know that men are not women, probably, if you can name all the presidents. Did you secretly
Yeah.
vote for Trump? Yeah, you probably did. I'm not even totally willing to. I'd say this is kind of the first level. At the very least, men are not women.
Yeah.
Because you know all the
You
American
participate in the
presidents.
nose mask protest.
I didn't wear a mask at all.
Yeah, I only wore a
Certainly
mask at
you
work when
know
I had
that
to.
You shouldn't wear filthy
So-
cloth on your face in public because that's disordered and you look like a lame bandito.
It's a science experiment.
Is that a You definitely
Good old
secretly
Back to
voted
the
for Trump.
Future.
I guess the question is are you secretly voted for Trump or are you your blue-haired cousin won't speak to you anymore? I guess it depends if you have seen your blue-haired cousin with the face mask. Probably knowing your blue-haired cousin, she's not going to leave her apartment.
Yeah, I would assume that that's your blue
unless it's
cousin
to go
would
to the
talk to you.
dispensary.
Yeah.
So probably this is you secretly voted for Trump,
Sure.
but you're not willing to
Because
wave that
your
flag
blue-haired
in
cousin
the
would totally get
hurricane
mad that if you
haven't even
had
heard
a
the
chin
whole thing.
diaper.
It's
true.
kind of below you.
But you
then you got to start.
but like
moving
you
it
said,
down.
your blue-haired cousin would be happy that you're at least you have a mask on your face, whereas
I didn't
you didn't.
wear one.
So your blue-haired cousin would be pissed off because he'd be like, "I'm gonna get COVID just because you're in the same room breathing with me and it's not breathing into a mask and then going into the rest of the room."
Okay, nose out is secretly voting for Trump, but what I did is blue-haired cousins don't like me.
Yeah,
Okay,
probably,
alright,
probably.
all right.
Further you get it. But my favorite one is when you wear the mask on your chin.
Yeah,
That's
the chin
my favorite
diaper. Yeah.
protest. You can sort of tell someone's politics
South
by
Park.
how low
South Park
on
had
their
a great
face
bit about
they
that.
wear the mask. You are anti-mask.
Hey, yeah, we
there
were
you
just
go.
talking about that. Yeah, I'm
Right, so
anti-mask.
together, actually.
Masks
So
take
yeah,
a
you're
walk.
a little bit conservative here. You don't want to let the exalted Dr. Fauci your entire country.
Dr.
Here
Fauci.
we go again. So you know that men are not women.
If you
Did
go
you
against
secretly
Dr.
vote for
Fauci,
Trump?
you
Yeah,
go
did you-
against
Does your
science.
blue-haired cousin hate you?
I am the science.
I am
Would you
I
wave the
am the
flag
science.
in the
Not
hurricane
yet.
you just have Mace Windu walk in. Not yet.
It's treason then.
It's treason then.
That shows how much of a nerds we are about Star Wars. Nerd. Okay. Good stuff.
I love it.
You're saying you're so anti-mask that you wouldn't wear it even if the cops are yelling at you, or you're going to get arrested on an airplane or something. If that's the case, then obviously, you're going way up the chain. But if you're just generally speaking anti-mask,
I say generally
probably just,
speaking.
you're at the phase where the blue hairs don't like you very much.
Yes.
More ads.
Against small children are being rampantly covered up by our government.
Okay.
Okay.
Skip the
Patriot
ads.
is your favorite movie.
I've never actually seen Patriot all the way
You've
through.
never seen.
I've seen a lot of it. But
I
not all
am
of it.
ashamed. You are not a conservative. You just dropped down a tier. You barely know that women aren't men. I am ashamed. I've seen The Patriot all the way through, and it's rated R, and I don't watch rated R movies, man.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Okay. Tell me about this. So, is it The Patriot where, because, obviously it's Mel Gibson,
Yes.
so he has, like, these little lead toy soldiers that he melts into lead balls to shoot.
Yes.
Okay, alright, so I saw that part. Okay, alright.
Do you know how he gets the...
Because it's from his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why he uses his son's toys?
Because his son's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
at least he knows some of it.
I know some of it.
I'm very ashamed. Like you're like you're in between, men aren't women, and you secretly voted for Trump. You're like riding that fine line, man. You got to redeem yourself here somehow.
Alright, I'm going to see what it's streaming on and if I can watch it.
It's on Netflix. I watched it.
I don't have Netflix.
Well, you should get
Because
Netflix.
I'm straight. Okay? Netflix has stupid crap like Squid Games, and they have like some weird cartoon about a gay Agent Bond, and they actually have several like cartoon things about tranny gay things, and
It's because it's Netflix.
yeah, like I said, I'm straight.
Yeah.
Which surprises me that it has Patriot.
It has a lot of like Netflix actually has a lot of pretty good, decently patriotic movies. Like they have a lot of military movies on there.
Really?
Yeah, they even have. I just got done watching the series World War II in color. Like I finished it before you came over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a super good series. It basically they take a bunch of World War II footage because all that
You
is
sound
in
like
black
my
and white.
dad.
It's all in black and white, but then they converted it into color footage,
Wow.
and they talk about different things.
Yeah, my dad likes to watch World War II documentaries.
So
All right. Well, it looks like I need to go watch Patriot.
you need to go watch Patriot to redeem yourself at least a
Alright.
little bit.
Okay.
Just
The
disgusting.
Patriot's an excellent movie.
It is
Some
an
people
excellent
think it's
movie.
a little overwrought, but it's a great movie. You obviously know that men are not women. You obviously voted for Trump, at least secretly.
That's me.
You might be able to play it safe enough that you stay on social media, that you don't get blown away in a hurricane, and that your cousin still will come to dinner with you. So I'm going to say, it's good. You've got great taste in movies, though you should check out other great movies like, I don't know, Me, Myself, and Irene, or other sort of brilliant films. But still, Patriot, very good movie. This is where you secretly voted for Trump. So much is going on at our front doors.
So we know
these
that
days.
Mel
That's one
Gibson
thing that
secretly
definitely
voted for
has not
Trump.
changed. It is more important
I don't know.
than
Is Mel
ever to be
Gibson
able to see
conservative?
what's there and what is happening, especially for me. These days, I got a lot of people
Okay.
coming to
Ad
my
for
house.
Ring.
Sometimes it's
Guess what,
food
Ring?
delivery because we
You
don't
don't
want to cook,
sponsor
get
us,
newborn baby
so
welfare.
we're not gonna
I think
do
this
your
is an
ads.
even more basic common sense
Ah.
decision.
No.
Knowles, back to the tiers.
Back to the tears.
Okay, you actively discriminate against French people. This should be the default setting of all Americans and really all civilized people.
I fart in your general direction.
I'm not even sure
You know,
this means
I
that you
don't know
secretly voted for
If
Trump.
I don't know
You don't know what?
how I feel about the French. I think the French are. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to look up if Mel Gibson is actually.
Dang, that's a beard.
That's a beard. I don't know if he's conservative or not.
Well, he is an actor, so he's probably not. But he could be. I'm not sure.
He was accused of homophobic comments in the 1990s.
Wow, that long ago? I didn't even know they knew what the word homophobic meant back then.
So he saluted Trump, which could go either way.
He secretly voted for Trump, probably.
Okay, so this person says we were at a crowded party with one of my good friends. Mel Gibson was smoking a cigar, and we were all talking. And he said to my friend who's gay, "Oh wait, am I gonna get AIDS?"
That's funny.
Gibson admitted to making anti-Semitic comments in 2006 after being arrested on a DUI charge. What? Wait, Mel Gibson was at UFC? Okay, well, he's seeming to be a little bit more conservative. If he's
Yeah, it seems he's like I said, he's probably like wow, his movie, if you watch his movie and that's your favorite movie, you probably secretly voted for Trump. And Mel Gibson probably secretly voted for Trump.
Oh, so this is what he says. I'm politically incorrect. That's true. Political correctness to me is just intellectual terrorism. I find that really scary, and I won't be intimidated into changing my mind. Everyone isn't going to love you all the time.
That is so true.
You know what? I think Mel Gibson might be he might be on this list. He might be the secretly voted for Trump.
I think he probably did.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Okay, cool. We've
And,
established
Even more reason to go watch The Patriot.
even more reason to go watch The Patriot because it is a good movie and Mel Gibson secretly voted for Trump.
That's right.
I think this is an even more basic common sense position than that. C'est vrai, bien sûr. Your goldfish is named Goldwater. You're pretty committed. So you secretly voted for Trump, for sure. Well,
Okay, that's kind of
this is
weird,
tricky
but I had a
because
beta
there's a
fish that
kind
was
of
violent.
group Of conservatives,
Your
kinda like
beta
the Never
secretly
Trumpers, who are
voted
like,
for Trump.
My
"Oh, yeah, man,
my
if I
beta
lived
would have
back in the Gary
joined the
Goldwater
Proud
days, I would've
Boys
totally been conservative. Oh, yeah,
protests.
if I lived back in the days, I would've totally conservative. conservative.
It was
But
violent, man.
now
It
they're just,
hated
super
me.
sophisticated liberal, you know,
I
they're like,
stick
I'm a
my bare
conservative,
finger
but
above the
not
water,
that
it
kind of
would
conservative.
bite me.
Wah. And
I mean, at
they
least try to.
basically hide in the sort of halcyon conservative days of the past rather than having the courage to fight the actual battles we're in now. So I'm actually going to peg that one down a little bit. You know that men are not women. Maybe you did not secretly vote for Trump. You still want Jane Fonda tried for treason. Yeah, baby. Now we're
I don't even know who Jane
I don't
Fonda
even know
is.
who that
definitely
is.
vote for Trump, but not secretly.
I'm pretty sure she is
your
a
cousin does not talk to
what do
you.
you call it,
You
an
may
actor.
be banned from social.
Jane Fonda.
All right, we're gonna find out who Jane Fonda is for all of you
Okay,
listeners
well,
out
she's
there.
old. She's 84.
Well,
She's an actress.
that makes sense.
Movies and TVs. What would we have seen her in? Barbarella.
What the heck is that?
Looks maybe amazing. Looking at all these,
I know none of these
I know not. I'm not
movies.
even gonna list them off. They're old. These are all old movies.
They're all very old movies, and no one knows them.
Yeah, like the newest one is a show, Gracie and Frankie, since 2015, and she was in a show called Monster in Law, 2005. Oh, Our Souls at Night, 2017. That might be her latest.
No,
Nope,
she's got one
the book
2018.
Book Club, 2018.
Why would you do a movie about a book club?
Because you're Jane Fonda.
And that is why she is being tried for treason.
Yeah. And apparently she has something about Tom Brady she's talking about. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Who cares about Jane Fonda?
No one cares.
Social media. If you say things like "we need to try her," because also the punishment for treason is like not. It's a little tricky. So the fun thing. With
Another ad. Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, I haven't had this many ads on one video in like a long time.
So yeah, you're probably banned from social media for that. You're because you're gonna hear a lot of people say like we want to hear all opinions. It's totally cool that Jane Fonda was sitting at an anti-aircraft gun in Vietnam.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
don't
that's
you think
great.
it's hilarious that
Oh,
the
she
people...
was sitting at an anti-aircraft vehicle or cannon at Vietnam. Okay, that sounds interesting.
But see, I do think it's hilarious the people who say that they are the most welcoming and like the most like they don't judge you for anything at all, and like they claim to be these people who will hear any opinion and everyone should be included in everything. The liberals always say that, and they like absolutely are not that. Like if you don't agree with them on any one thing, like even just one thing, they hope you like die.
Yeah, that's true. Huh. All right, well, I still don't really care about Jane Fonda, so.
So, all right, continuing.
It's the marketplace of ideas or something. No, it's not. She should definitely not have been permitted to do that. You're getting banned from social media if you're espousing that view too publicly. You own a firearm, yeah. So
Oh, Jordan's got a bunch of firearms.
I own many.
I don't own one actually.
Definitely not.
Oh,
But you own a firearm.
I know. I just dropped down on the list.
Definitely secretly voted for Trump. But the thing about firearms is, like voting for Trump, you can do it in secret. I know a lot of people.
Oh, see, so you bumped up a bit now. You secretly voted for Trump. You went from knowing that men are not women to.
Invited to liberal parties, but secretly,
right.
they're Second Amendment supporters. So that one's going to just be you secretly voted for Trump. You open carry for no reason.
I don't open
That's a
carry,
little
I
bit
conceal
higher
carry.
up the chain for sure. You probably would wave the flag in the hurricane.
I open
at
carry
that
a
moment
knife for no
when
reason.
You've just got
So
that
do
gun
I.
on your hip just to say, "Damn it, I'm proud to be an American." You're getting out there with Old Glory, no doubt.
Yes, I am.
You believe Nixon did nothing wrong. This just means that you're.
I don't know what Nixon did.
Yeah. Okay. You would wave the flag in the hurricane at that point for sure. Would you be banned from social media? Yeah, like maybe, because you're to recognize that Richard Nixon basically just got ousted because subversives, actually in the deep state, never forgave him for going after the communist Alger Hiss, which is really what this whole thing was about. If you recognize that, then you probably challenge a lot of the mainstream narrative surrounding our politics. So I'm going to say you might be banned on social media. You're veering between either waving the flag or an outright ban, depending on how flamboyant you are in your correct views. Blocked by celebrities on Twitter. These days, you need to sneeze to get blocked by celebrities. That's very... You know that they're not women.
I don't have Twitter,
That's about all it
so...
takes. That's like the basic level.
That's true. If you know
Getting
that men are not
blocked
women,
very trigger
all
happy.
celebrities except for Mel Gibson will block you.
Cut your hair
That's
with
right.
great clips.
I get my haircut at Great Clips.
Me too.
I quite capture the political significance of that. I'm not sure that you even need to know that men are not women to get your haircut at Great Clips.
I know, Great Clips is just kind of like, you know...
a special
Everyone goes there.
Yeah.
secret tier that's not in our 5 tiers. I think this tier is right below you knowing that men are not women. This is one where you just like a great deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Great deal, even the lips.
Even the lips.
You bought GameStop stock.
And you still haven't sold it yet.
I haven't done that.
Value is what you are, to quote a very famous Reddit user. I mean, you're waving that flag in the hurricane, no doubt. I guess actually, if you're one of the, if you are Deep Effing Value, which is the name of one of these very famous users, you're definitely getting.
I'm just
banned on
imagining
social media
like
websites,
thousands
right? I
of
mean,
people standing out in a hurricane, waving American flags around.
Twitter went
Now.
after
Like
these guys.
this is probably
Everybody
just
was going
hundreds of
after,
thousands of Trump supporters out there.
Wall
It's like,
Street
Yeah,
GameStop.
honestly, it sounds
Put
fun.
The hedge funds that were
Yeah.
if you do
GameStop,
that,
put the
you will
squeeze on
definitely
them,
up
and
your
they get a
game
ton of money
on
from Wall
this.
Street. So that's pretty strong. I guess that's the top tier. You post All Lives Matter on BLM videos. So that's good. So it's not just saying All Lives Matter.
I've posted worse.
This is a little more
I won't say what I did, but
Uh-oh.
it was not a great comment.
All right, I'm not sure I want to hear. I don't know if we should put this on our.
Doing that kind of stuff.
Oh,
You,
no.
are
You have no idea what I did.
physical danger, just as you would if you were waving the flag in the hurricane. Are you banned from social media? Well, if you're still
Yes.
posting on those videos, I guess you're not banned yet.
You posted
So I would
once
say
and you
you're-
got
you're
banned from social media. That's
Yeah.
that's what
Your boat
happened.
sank at a Trump rally. Yeah, my favorite Trump rallies are the ones in Newport Beach on Duffy boats, where it's just lots of great middle-aged conservatives waving those flags. I guess
That
you're
looks like
waving
a
the
lot of
flag in the
fun.
hurricane.
That does.
It's actually the best analogy to that scene, because you are actually going down, drowning in physical danger while waving a flag. You've been featured in the comment of the day on the Michael Knowles Show. Man, that is getting into top tier. Let's see. If you're willing to be featured on my show, your cousin probably doesn't talk to you. Would you wave the flag? Yeah, duh. Are you banned from social media? Obviously not yet. Not yet is the answer. You're still in the 4th tier, but probably once you're featured on my show, then you might be booting up here.
You're on thin ice, pal.
You have a subscription to the Daily Wire. You know, I actually have to say,
You know, I
having
don't.
a subscription
I don't
to the
either.
Daily Wire, I think it
I'm
used
just
to be
lazy
like
and I
you-
don't have
you
much
had to be
money,
the most
so I don't
benevolent
want to.
Genghis Khan
Just watch
ever.
clips on
But I
YouTube.
think it
Exactly.
really
Good
is,
enough.
because people are waking up to this insane woke culture that more
I mean, they
people
do
in
have
the
a bunch
middle,
of
even
movies
some
on Daily
libs,
Wire now.
are coming over.
I know that
because
they made at
realize
least
that
2.
if they get their news
I
from
think they're
CNN
coming
and
out
the
with
New
a
York
third
Times,
one
Washington
soon.
Post, they're just being
They
lied
also
to.
came out with
This is
a TV show that's called China: The Enemy Within, and it's like a conspiracy theory documentary about how China is basically taking over the United States government.
But I've heard a lot of stuff about that. That could be interesting.
That would be an interesting one to watch. All right,
Ridiculous.
video's
So
almost
I'm actually
done.
you don't even think you needed to secretly vote for Trump. I think as long as you can acknowledge very basic facts about the world, that the sky is blue, 2 + 2 is 4, men are not women. If you're just at basic level, you can start to enter into that space. And then hopefully we at the Daily Wire will take you all the way down, all the way down the path to make you a full-fledged, knuckle-dragging conservative. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with my
All right,
rationales.
all
Let
right.
me know
So, Jordan, after that video, thank you, Mr. Michael Knowles. We appreciate you entertaining us for a little bit with that video.
So it sounds like we're not like die hard, super crazy,
We're,
but
we're not stand out in a hurricane with an American flag,
But we're pretty conservative.
but we're pretty conservative. So like the blue hairs won't talk to us.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's what it
that's
is.
interesting.
Okay. All right. That went for much longer than I thought it would, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, interesting. How conservative we are, but and I feel better knowing that I'm not
Mhm.
knowing where I am. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah, it's always good to know where you identify at, you know?
Yeah, it makes me feel good. But you
Yes.
know what else would make me feel really good?
What?
Is if the Kenobi series is amazing.
Yes,
Or
that
if
would.
they don't drop
That
the
would.
ball.
That would. It like they make all the trailers look really good. Like the trailer for Star Wars Episode 8 looked fantastic, and
It
then
did.
and then the movie was absolute trash.
It was trash.
Like worst Star Wars movie ever, and that's saying a lot because 9 really sucked too.
Dude, the worst thing I hated about 9 is just that one line that Poe said, which is somehow Palpatine returned. I love that that's the only explanation that we got.
And it's not even from like a Force user or anything. It's just from Poe.
He just it's like he opened up his phone, looked at the news, and Palpatine's like, "I'm gonna nuke a planet," and
And
he's like,
somehow Palpatine returned.
yeah, yeah. So that's
I think yeah that you're right.
and you know what? Because Disney pretty much ruined the sequel trilogy, which sucks. But I blame that mostly on Kathleen Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
Because from what I understand, before they even bought Star Wars, they had plans for movies.
Yeah, they had plans for movies, and George Lucas, like, he gave Disney the plans he had for his sequel trilogy, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll totally use this." And then as soon as he left the room, they like shredded it and wrote their own crap.
Because I think George Lucas, because from what I understand, he was going to do more stuff with Darth Maul. I think that could have
really?
been cool.
Hmm.
Better than Palpatine returning.
Well, better than Palpatine returning, but I don't know if I would have liked that too much because then Darth Maul would have been like crazy freaking old.
Crazy old, but like, because in the series he ran the crime syndicate, so I don't know.
But he died in Rebels, so
He did.
in Star Wars Rebels.
He's dead. Anyway, so Star Wars ruined the movies, but the series though, Mandalorian, I thought was amazing, really good. Book of
Yes.
Boba Fett. It started out slow, but it got much better at the end.
I don't know how I feel about Book of Boba Fett. It was okay. It started off really slow. I just think I don't like that they went away from Boba Fett.
Yeah, that
I-
was kind of weird.
I don't like that because it went from being the Book of Boba Fett to the Book of the Mandalorian, and Boba Fett had to make a cameo in his own TV show. Like, that's like honestly, Boba Fett basically had to make a cameo in his own TV show. And they could have expanded the story a lot more in those 2 episodes instead of focusing on Mando and Grogu. And then they also could have I also don't like that Boba Fett, he immediately changed from like this cold calculating killer of a bounty hunter to being like this softy who respects everyone. Like I like that he had that character development, but they needed to develop him more to being a respectful, intelligent leader. And so I think at the beginning he should have been a little more rash, like going around killing people once he became once he took Jabba's place.
Yeah, because all the development was with the Sand People tribe,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't think he was there that long, but it sounds like
He was
actually
there
with
for
them
about he was there for about 5 years.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I would go insane if I was Boba Fett, having had my own spaceship, my own armor and guns, and expertise, and traveled all over the galaxy. I would not settle for a Sand People tribe. I would be like, all right, I'm out. I'd get my gaffy stick and be out of there. Of course, he probably got his gaffy stick a year in, so I wouldn't even waited till then.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I got my chance to go, I would have been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So it was good, but I mean, I will say this, it was better than the sequel movies.
Yes.
I mean, almost anything is better than the sequel movies.
Yep.
But so it was better than the sequel movies. It's not better than The Mandalorian.
Nope.
I don't think it'll be better than Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Honestly, I don't think it was better than Star Wars Rebels. I think Star Wars Rebels, the TV show, was better than Book of Boba Fett.
I never saw Rebels.
Rebels was okay. It wasn't great.
Because in the Clone Wars, when I was younger, watching that show, like you would see people get shot or stabbed and
Or
stuff,
cut in half.
or cut in half. You would see that. In the clips I've seen of Rebels, it's like it just cuts away.
Yeah, no, you don't see anyone die, which I do think I do disagree with. It is very much geared towards kids, especially with the animation. Like the animation quality decreased a lot from
It's gross.
it. Yeah, it's crappy animation quality. The lightsabers look like stupid sticks
Yeah.
instead of lightsabers. But I would say it's still better than the Mandalorian, or not the Mandalorian, than the Book of Boba Fett.
That's very bold.
It's not by much, but sure.
All right. So yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that they do better with Kenobi. Although in the trailer, the Grand Inquisitor, they could have done a lot more with him.
Oh, they could have done so much better with him. Like
Because he has like a tall head
he has a tall head.
and glowy eyes.
He's one of the
He was a temple guard.
he was a temple guard, but the Grand Inquisitor, the species that he is, you know the
He was on
dudes.
the guys on Utapau.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's one of the dudes on Utapau, and they all have like they're all tall with tall freaking heads and stuff. And this in Grand Inquisitor in live action has like a fat face. And it's like
a round head. He looks like Joe Rogan.
it's like I don't like how he
I've
looks.
already seen like several edits where they made it look really good.
I mean,
That's just people, with
Yeah.
Photoshop. So I don't know. I heard one argument saying, all right, it looks like they need to fix some things. What if we wait a little bit longer so they fix it so the show comes out better? Or would we be impatient and just take it now?
I'd be
March.
impatient and take it now, because I just want to watch the Kenobi series, and yes, the Grand Inquisitor, he looks different than animated, but you're also gonna have that difference. Like you have that with Ahsoka, her hair thingies aren't as long as in live action as they are in the animated. With Cad Bane, he
was a lighter shade of
he's
blue.
a lighter shade of blue, and
Head wasn't as tall.
his face looks a little different.
Of course, that makes sense though, because if you want him to talk, he's going to be a human underneath. So
Yeah,
it has to be proportionate.
yeah, and so the Grand Inquisitor, but there's gonna be differences, some significant, some not, between animated and live action. So like I do give them that a little bit. Like there is gonna be those differences, and yeah, it doesn't completely line up with continuity, but does it really matter? Because the story, like the story is what matters. Yeah, you watch it and that's cool, but the story is what matters. So like it could be, and we know that they're the same person. Like that's really what's important, is we know they're the same person. Like just like in Star Wars The Clone Wars and in Star Wars Rebels, all three, and in live action, you've had 4 different Obi-Wan Kenobis.
It's true.
You had Star Wars, you had the original Obi-Wan Kenobi. You had
Episode 4.
Yep,
right.
episode 4, 5, and 6, because he
He was
was
the same
Force
guy.
Ghost. Yep.
Yep.
So same guy. Then you had Ewan McGregor in 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Then you have Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then you have another one that like sounds in between Ewan McGregor and old, like original Obi-Wan Kenobi. And so you have 4 Obi-Wan Kenobis that play throughout all of Star Wars. Does that really matter?
That's true.
So like, and then also if you think about it, Count Dooku in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, his face looks very different.
Very different. He has
So-
the thickest mustache of
Mhm.
any cartoon character I've ever seen.
Yeah. So I give him a little leeway with it.
Okay. Well,
So I
think that's fair.
I'd take it now and deal with the slight difference in look.
and who knows? Maybe he won't be in it that much. You won't have to be bothered by his
I mean,
round face.
there's only 6 episodes, so I can't imagine, and they only showed him for like one scene.
Yeah.
So and they showed the other black chick Inquisitor more often. So I bet you she is the main Inquisitor that fights Obi-Wan Kenobi, and she gets killed, and then Darth
Yeah.
Vader shows up, and they have a duel.
I'm pretty sure she dies because you never see her in anything else.
Yeah. So
Huh. All
so
right.
I would rather take the Kenobi series now.
Well, okay. It would also make sense that she dies because the Inquisitors all die, don't they?
Eventually, they all die. Yes.
So no matter what, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be dead. It's not like how you have what's that one video game, Jedi Fallen Order,
Yeah.
where they introduced a couple more Jedi who survived the purge and stuff. You
Mhm.
know, nah, all the Inquisitors they
Yeah,
die.
the Inquisitors die. They don't replace the Inquisitors because basically, so I watched a couple videos about the Inquisitors recently, and basically,
Nerd. as I say that as we deep dive in Star Wars.
I know. Basically, the Inquisitors were formed by the Emperor to hunt down Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Like that's their basic function is to hunt down surviving Jedi. Well, they weren't taught very much in the dark side, so they're not very good at. They're taught like to
Basic
lightsaber
stuff. Yeah.
They're taught basic stuff, so they can do some minor things with the Force, and they have really good lightsaber skills, and sometimes not even good lightsaber skills.
Yeah.
So like that's about all that the Inquisitors have going for them.
Because it can't be full-fledged Sith because there can only be two.
There can only be two, and Darth Vader and Palpatine don't want one of them to try and overthrow them, or all of them to try and overthrow them. Like if Darth Vader by himself could, if all the Inquisitors that we know of teamed up to fight against Darth Vader, he would kick all of their butts easy. Like,
well, especially if you just watch that cutscene from Jedi Fallen Order, like, yeah, obviously,
yeah. So you have all these Inquisitors, but they're powerful enough to take on low-level Jedi. So like Padawans that happened to survive the Jedi Purge that were saved by their masters, like Cal Kestis.
Because he almost got wrecked several times.
Mm-hmm. So those kinds of Inquisitors, or those kinds of Jedi, they can handle, or even low-ranking like Jedi that had just barely advanced from being Padawans to full-fledged Jedi. So those are the ones that that the Inquisitors can handle. But as soon as the Inquisitors encounter a more powerful Jedi, like someone from the Council or a more powerful,
kind of like an average Jedi,
like your average Jedi that could like the Grand Inquisitor might like be able to defeat your average Jedi, but the rest of the Inquisitors would probably get beaten. Like even Ahsoka defeats all the Inquisitors that we've seen her face off against. So I think that.
So because she never made a knight, she just was a Padawan.
But they offered her to become a Jedi Knight.
They did?
Yeah, when she refused to return to the Jedi Order,
that's right.
They're like, you can be a Jedi Knight now. You'll advance from being a Padawan.
But she did a lot of like studying though.
She did do a lot of studying, and so now and then she basically became the new Qui-Gon Jinn. Like she follows the will of the Force.
Yeah.
And so because she does that, she's become super powerful. Beats all the Inquisitors. So I think that once the Inquisitors encounter an average Jedi or an above average Jedi,
they're done.
They're like, all right, call on the big dogs. So then they go get Darth Vader and have him come in.
Yeah. That's what I want to see in the Kenobi series, though. I want to see Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghost.
Yeah, I think we'll see him.
Yoda talked about that in Episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
About how you can talk to him.
Yeah, and we might not see his Force Ghost, but because we only see his Force Ghost once in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and that is on like
that weird, stupid episode,
the weird Force planet that is literally just nothing but the Force.
Yeah, that was weird.
So I don't think we'll see his Force Ghost, but I think we'll hear his voice, and like we might see something.
I would like to see the Force Ghost.
It would be cool to see the Force Ghost. I don't think we will though. I think we'll hear him talking to Obi-Wan, and I think we might see some form of like I don't want to call it an apparition, but some form of apparition that, like, some twinkling lights floating off to the side or whatever, or like a shadow or something.
Maybe.
But I don't think we would see Qui-Gon Jinn as a Force ghost. That is just my opinion. But we'll have to wait and find out.
Wait till March 25th.
Is it March 25th or is it May 25th? I thought it was May 25th.
May, I'm sorry. It is March now.
If
because the date now is March 14th. So, it's not March. I'm sorry. It is May.
I wish it came out in March. That'd be nice.
Yeah, there should be next week.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That'd be
a little
awesome.
bit more, yeah.
It'd be great. All right, looks like we're starting to run to the end of our time here. We didn't cover everything that we wanted to talk about today. Is there any last thoughts, Jordan, that you want to talk about or cover?
Well, since we're on talking about Disney stuff, because Disney also bought Marvel. And I thought, it's kind of like a good, bad thing that Disney did with Marvel. I think because Disney has a lot of money, that they could take Marvel to new places.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's Disney, they kind of Disney-fied it, right?
Yes.
So I watched like the original Captain America movie.
Uh-huh.
There's a scene in Captain America. He jumps on like one of these little plane things that I think it's like a suicide bomber.
Yeah.
Anyway, he takes the guy, tosses him out, and he turns into a mist of blood.
Yeah.
And the propellers in the back.
Yeah.
Disney would never do that.
No, they wouldn't.
And I think there's just a little bit more action, a little bit more violent in the original Marvel movies than the Disney.
I agree. Yeah.
So I think I like that, but of course Disney, they created, Infinity War and Endgame, and I don't know if Marvel could have done that. They might have.
They probably could have, because I think Marvel would have gotten enough popularity that even if and that's why Disney bought them, is because they were becoming super popular. So I think Marvel on its own would have gotten popular enough to where it would have made enough money, but I don't think it would have been as high quality as what Disney made.
True.
So I think it would have been good, but maybe not quite as high quality. But it could have been.
And because of that, I think Disney should buy DC, because they're not doing too good.
Yeah, they
Although
really sucked at making movies.
The Snyder version of Justice League was much better than the original.
That's what I've heard. I've heard a lot of people say really good things about the Snyder Cut.
The Snyder Cut was much better. Still kind of weird, but much better. Anyway, so I think that's pretty good.
Pretty well sums it up.
Pretty well sums it up. So.
All right. Well, we thank you for sticking with us and listening to us ramble on about how we're conservative and also Star Wars and Marvel, because who doesn't like to talk about Star Wars and Marvel? So we'll catch you next time. Keep being squatchy. I don't know. Should we say that? Keep being squatchy?
Yeah, we had a whole episode about Sasquatch,
all right.
man.
Okay.
And we're going to have more Sasquatch episodes. So yeah, stay squatchy, man.
All right. Stay squatchy out there.